Hello, my loves. Cheryl here. How are you? I'm here with a quick Q&A. I woke up to some really incredible questions this morning and I have a list of them. There's maybe somewhere between 5 and 10. I'm going to go through them live. If you have any questions for me live, you're welcome to drop them down below. I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. I'm not sure at this time of day how many people will be on, but we will crack on. By the way, I feel like I should do an official introduction at some point because some of you might have found me on the TikTok machine and be like, who's Cheryl Muir? Who is she? So I'm a relationship expert. I'm a coach. I've been coaching for 8 years. I've been coaching on relationships for the past 4. I was on BBC Radio 1 Life Hacks twice last year, talking about relationships, connection, intimacy, all that good stuff. You can find out more about me on my website, cherylmuir.com. I'm on YouTube. I have a channel called Love and Fandom where I analyse the relationships in Marvel movies, but more than that, I help us to understand those relationships we see on the screen so we can understand ourselves at a deeper level and have a better relationship with ourselves and our own inner world and also with the people in our lives. So that is my YouTube. You can find that on my profile later after I finish the live. So that's just a little bit about who I am. Just for context, because I'm new to YouTube. I'm new to TikTok, but I'm not new to this work. So if we've not met before, that's a little bit about my background. Okay, I'm going to dive right in. Or do we need a meditation first? I don't know. I feel ready to go. So I'm just going to dive right in. Maybe we'll do a meditation at the end. Here are the questions I'm going to be answering today that I have on my list. What if you're happily married, but you also have an unhealthy relationship, unhealthy obsession with a celebrity? Then I'm going to talk about fictional characters for a bit. So this whole thing of they've never let me down, but real people have. How do you overcome that? I'm also going to talk about what if you can't get emotionally attached to real people, only to fictional characters. Someone asked a question for Fangirl to Fiance, so I'm going to answer that and talk a little bit about that program. It started today and the doors open until Friday. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's included there. Then I'm going to go deep into the celebrity crush thing. I think most of you know me from the celebrity crush video. I promise I'm not a one-trick pony, but there are a lot of questions on this, such as, what if I'm delusional and I feel like my celebrity crush would actually fall for me? Amazing question. I'm going to answer that. What if I got out of a toxic 15-year relationship and a celebrity crush helps me to cope? What if I feel there's nobody as incredible as him? What if I'm not ready to give up my celebrity crush? What if I'd love to have someone like my celebrity crush, but I just don't believe they're within my reach and I don't believe I can have it? And finally, my celebrity crush is a man and I'm a lesbian is the final question. I'm bi, by the way, just for reference, not that it really matters. But that did tickle me, that last question. And it had a few laughing emojis next to it, which I found quite amusing. I'm just going to adjust the lighting. How's it all looking and feeling? Is it all right? This replay, by the way, if you don't stay for the full thing or you can't be asked or you're busy, the replay will be on my YouTube after. So let's dive into fictional characters and celebrity crushes. Before we do, I've got a new section in my live videos. Here's what we're going to do. So last week on the internet was a little bit of a shaky one for me. I had a really scary experience, and so because of that, I'm going to retrain my brain and my belief system to believe that the internet's a safe place for me, and I'm going to do that by reading out some of the nicest comments I've received. I'm going to give some people some shout outs for being really beautiful human beings. So the first one is Last Shadow, and Last Shadow said, in relation to fictional characters, it's the first time I've seen someone talk about this in such a non-judgmental way. So I have a video about fictional characters and loving them and what that can mean about us and whether or not we want to move on from that. And there was a beautiful user called Lucy Laufeyson, not to be confused with Loki Laufeyson. Lucy Laufeyson said about the same video, I think you're such a lovely person, and to me you're so genuine with wanting to help people, so huge respect to you. I think the way that you said is okay if you're not ready to move on from these crushes. It actually makes you a really safe person. So thank you, Lucy Laufeyson and Last Shadow, for your really sweet comments. It really touched my heart and I'm really grateful, and thank you so much for that. So, first question, what if you're happily married but you also have an unhealthy obsession with a celebrity? So, there's a few things I want you to consider, and there's 5 points. The first one is, what need is going unmet within your marriage? Is there a need going unmet within your marriage, and what might that be? The second question I would ask you is it causing a distance or a barrier to intimacy between you and your husband or wife? Because what's going on is you're married to your husband or wife, you've said you're happily married, and yet there's this obsession with someone else. It's almost like, not to be too extreme or theatrical, but it's almost like this emotional infidelity where your heart and your emotions are not fully there in your current relationship. So is it causing a distance? Is it a way of you creating distance between your partnership? Can you lean into your partnership more? The third thing I would say is, do they know about it? Do they know about it, and how do they feel about it? And how do you feel about it? Is it something that you want to look at and change? That's really the fourth question too. Do you want to change it? And you might not want to, and that's okay. But if you do want to change it, then you can. And the fifth point I would say is, obsession is about unmet needs and unfulfilled desires. Like at its core, if you're really obsessed with someone, whether it's a celebrity, fictional character, a person you know from real life, an obsession is, it's this feeling of, I don't get what I want, so I'm going to obsess about something that's outside of myself. It's also a feeling of, I can't meet my own emotional needs, so I'm going to outsource them to someone or something else, you know? At its core, I think that's what it's about. So yeah, obsession is just a sign to look at ourselves and look at what's going on within us. Obsession was something I experienced a lot when I was in my 20s, you know? Scorpio South Node, Scorpio rising, had the lower expression of the Scorpio energy, that real obsession for a long time, and it's quite consuming. It's quite consuming, and there's always something within us that's going unmet or unseen when there's an obsession, regardless of whether we're married or in a relationship or not. So it's just something to look at. So I would look at those things. What needs going unmet within your marriage? Is it a way of creating a barrier to intimacy? It's stopping you getting close from your partner? And do you have avoidant attachment tendencies? Because that's an avoidant attachment style, is trying to it's the fantasy relationship, it's the phantom ex, it's the one, it's a way of, you know, love is out there somewhere, it's not where I am right now, it's somewhere outside of this present circumstance, and it's a way of leaving the intimate situation you're in. Does that make sense? Other questions: do they know about it? Do you want to change it? And unmet needs, unfulfilled desires. So, fictional characters. Let's switch to fictional characters for a second. Fictional characters, they've never let me down, but real people have. Yeah, I get that. And so, if you're someone who really has a deep emotional connection to a character from film and television, and they feel a lot safer than the people in your life, you know, that's okay. It's okay, and it's understandable. And at the same time, is there a way for you to begin to trust again? Is there a way if you beginning to look at the times when you were hurt and betrayed, and it's not going to feel like nice or fluffy or pleasant when we go through it? It's going to feel really spiky and prickly and like hard, and we don't want to face it. But can you grieve that experience? Can you grieve the times when you were let down by other people? And you might not want to, and that's okay. But can you do that while at the same time having this safe place with this character? You know, whether you're reading comfort fics or whatever it might be, don't rip that away from yourself. It's really important that you keep that for now, because it's meeting a need, and it's actually regulating your nervous system and your emotions. So it's really important that you keep that while going through this process. Comfort fics can really regulate our nervous system and help us to understand what it is we need when we're upset, when we're stressed, how we want to be comforted. Like, what is it you're repeatedly reading in the comfort fix? Is it, you know, someone's who is upset? Is your character, your comfort character, are they the one that's upset and receiving comfort? Or are you reading the reader insert fix where where you're being comforted? And if so, what's happening there? Are they giving them a hug? Are they giving them some tender words? Are they encouraging them? Are they just listening and understanding? Are they giving you validation? And is that something that you want when you're upset in your real life? It's worth looking at that. I really believe that when we read these comfort fics, it's telling us how we want to be supported. So just make a list of that. And then, grieve the times when you were let down by other people. And then from there, it's really about making a decision to trust again. And you may or may not be ready, and that's okay. But looking at this relationship with this character through the lens of, this is meeting a need and I know why I'm doing this, is a good place to be. We always want to be coming at it from that place of awareness and choice, and whatever we choose is okay. But when we're doing things unconsciously, it has a lot of power over us. Whereas when we're choosing something, we know why we're doing it, and then we're really I don't know, I want to say like the master of our own ship. That's a little bit cheesy, but we know why we're doing the thing. And so we're in control of it. We know what need it's meeting within us. Another question on fictional characters was, I can't get emotionally attached to real people. I can't get emotionally attached to real people. So this is actually similar. So what I would say with this one though is you've got to start with therapy. I'm a coach, I'm not a therapist. When people come to me, when they find me, whether it's through Fangirl's Fiance, whether it's through private coaching, and by the way, all the testimonials that are on my website are from people I've helped outside of Fandom and Celebrity Crush, so it's through a slightly different thing. So if you see them, it doesn't mean they've had attachments to celebrities or fictional characters. It might have been on a slightly different element of relationship patterns and dating drama, so just know that, just for transparency. But I am a coach, not a therapist. So number one is start with therapy. Start with therapy is always the move. It's always the vibe. It's always the moment. We start with therapy to understand where it came from. And then beyond that, once we've been in therapy for a little bit and we found that I understand where this came from, I know intellectually what it is, but I'm still feeling like it's stuck, I'm still not able to trust people, that's when you might move on to someone that does somatic work or breath work or body work, or a coach that can help you to move forward. I see this is maybe a little bit controversial, and I hope that it's not, but maybe it is. I see therapy as being a bit of a bell curve. If you don't have any therapy and you really need it, that's like not effective. If you stay in therapy for 10 years talking about the same thing, that's not effective because you're not moving forward. There's this sweet spot in the middle where you're in therapy for maybe a couple of years or however long it takes, and it's helping you to move forward, and then you also know when it's time to choose a different tool. It's kind of like you wouldn't continue to try and cut a steak with a knife that's gone blunt. Like that knife either needs to be sharpened or you need a completely different tool, right? You wouldn't cut a steak with a butter knife. It's about tools, and talk-based therapy isn't the only tool to release difficult experiences from our system and from our body. It's not the only way that we can create change. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a coach. I always send people to therapy. It's really, really important that we do it, right? And it's not the only way that we can move forward. And I don't just use talk-based therapy with my clients either. I use all kinds of shit. I'm not meant to swear on TikTok live. I'm going to get a black mark against my name now. It's hard because I do, yeah, sometimes swear. Like that, that funny meme that's going around, like, what do you curse? Do you curse? I sometimes say F and then someone laughs. Anyway, I lost my train of thought there. I get really nervous when I'm on live sometimes. I think it's connected to like that thing that happened last week. I'm really worried that I'm going to be like judged or attacked, so I get a bit nervous and forget what I'm going to say. I did some breath work the other night to really release it from my body, but I need to do a bit more. And that's the thing, like that's this work, right? When something happens to us that feels scary, sometimes we're left in the wreckage of like cleaning up a mess that we didn't create. And that can feel unfair. It can feel unjust. It can feel emotional. If you're in a situation where like you didn't create the mess, but you're cleaning up the mess, then just know that that's the work. That's the work, and that's the work of being a cycle breaker in your family line, in your community. You didn't create it, but it ends with you because you decided that it's not going to go any further. You're not going to pass this on to your kids, and you're going to be the cycle breaker. And that means going through this process of do the therapy, hire the coach, do all the things that make you look like a maniac, but that really help. Like if anyone saw me doing breath work, I'm like shaking and twitching. I would look like a maniac, but we've got to get these emotional experiences out of our body because they stay stuck, and then our brain becomes really sticky. Believe it or not, a sticky brain is actually a real phrase from psychology. I know it sounds like I made it up, but a sticky brain is one that stays with the experiences, and often it's because there's an emotion that's still present for us, and we need to release that through breath work, tapping, ice baths, cold therapy, exercise, acupuncture, massage. There's all kinds of ways. Therapy and talk-based processes are not the only way. I feel like I'm hitting an edge saying that. I feel like that's an edgy thing to say, but it is true. And you've got to be the judge of what's right for you in your healing journey, and it is a journey. I spoke to a client last Monday, and he's been in therapy for a long time, and he's also worked with me throughout. And in 90 minutes, I was able to give him tools and techniques. He's like, Cheryl, this was like a year in therapy. Because therapy is a slow process, and I think it can be faster. Anyway, Let's get on to talking about celebrities. Before we do, I had a question on Fangirl to Fiance. Someone asked, is it super expensive? So Fangirl to Fiance is the program where I help you overcome your emotional attachment to a celebrity or a fictional character and help you find love in real life. Although I'm new to teaching on it in this way, this is really the process I've taught clients for years. With the course, you also get the love formula, which is a process I designed back in 2020 that takes you through the process of understanding what is this pattern that I'm repeatedly doing in relationships? Where did it come from and how do I heal it? And you get those tools. The course, the program Fangirl to Fiance is $157. I think for those of us who've done a bit of therapy, it's the price of a couple therapy sessions, and it will, if you've already done years of therapy, this is going to really, really save you a lot of time on your journey. I find that people that work with me privately, they tend to find their soulmate within 6 to 12 months. People that do courses with me tend to find their soulmate within 1 to 2 years, and people who just use the, the free content, the YouTube videos, the emails, the live videos tend to take about 5 years. So no matter what you decide, you're going to find love, like that's going to happen for you. It's just if you want to find it faster, a program like Fangirl to Fiance might be for you. We started today, so the program just started today, and it's such a blessing. I can't actually believe I'm able to teach on this because I've wanted to teach on this for such a long time, and I had this idea for this program in January. And I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it yet. I was going to do it later on in the year maybe. But the Celebrity Crush video happened and no one was more surprised than me. I didn't think that was going to go viral. Of all the videos I've had, I didn't think that would be the one. So I thought I was poked in the bum by, I don't know, the universe or someone. And it was it's time for Fangirl to Fiance. And it's just it's the joy of my life. It's the joy of my soul because, I mean, many of you know, right? If it wasn't for Fandom, I wouldn't be here today. I was in a car accident in 2014 and I went through a lot of deep depression, and Fandom saved me, having these people who wrote comfort fics for me and were there, and it was Gotham, actually, the fandom that I was in. My username was the Queen of Gotham. If anyone knows me from that fandom, maybe you do, and I wrote some real spicy, saucy stuff, and it was a beautiful thing in terms of accepting my sexuality. But just having that group of people, knowing every week I was going to see a new episode, and knowing every week we'd be talking about it, it kept me here. It kept me here, and I wouldn't be here without it. And that's why I say, if you're in a place where these characters and these celebrities are helping you get through a dark time, I know because I've been there, and I'm thankful. And I think only we know when we're through that dark time. Only we know when we're on the other side and it's become maladaptive. And maladaptive is just really a fancy way of saying it used to help me cope and now it's getting in the way of me creating the life I want to create. It's no longer effective at helping me to cope. So, that's why we have to, because for me, I know that, it saved my life, but at the same time, it also started to get in the way at a certain point. At a certain point, I'd been in it for too long, and it was stopping me from forming relationships with the real people. And so that's why I decided to change my relationship to fandom. It doesn't mean you have to leave fandom altogether. You can still write your fan fiction and do cosplay and read comfort fics. It's just about changing your relationship to it, and in Fangirl to Fiance I show you how and take you through that process of actually looking at how much time am I spending on fandom, what activities am I repeatedly doing, does it feel good to me, do I want to continue this, do I want to change it, and if you do want to change it, I'd love to have you in the program. We started today. You will get access right away to today's module, to the pre-work, to the bonus courses. We'll email it to you straight away. The bonus courses you'll get within 24 hours because we had the access manually. And then you can join us for the rest of the week. And the doors close on Friday, so I'm going to keep the doors open until Friday. If this is calling you, it'd be a real joy and honour to have you with us. So I didn't expect to say that or share that today, but here we are. It's my journey and it's my experience, so thank you for hearing me. So let's get on to the questions. What if I'm delusional and I feel like my celebrity crush would actually fall for me? It's interesting because a few of you that have said this, I clicked on your link and looked at your profile, and you actually look like you're quite quite a good match for someone like that. You look, you know, like you could be on the level of someone like that. The thing is, what I believe it's about giving up the perfect fantasy for something that's real. So you probably can have a person on their level or someone with their qualities, but it probably won't be that person. Why is it? There's that focus on that person. Again, obsession is a sign of an unfulfilled need or desire or something within us that's gone unseen. So why does it have to be that person? Why does it have to be that person? Can it not be someone with their qualities instead? And as for like the delusional thing, I mean, that's really, you know, above my pay grade. That's probably more of a therapy or a psychotherapy thing, right? If you do genuinely feel I might be delusional, that's something for therapy, really. But yeah, you can have someone with their qualities. It's completely possible. It's completely possible. By the way, I'm not saying that person. I want to be super clear about this because I think people have said that, you know, I'm trying to get people to believe they can be with a celebrity crush. That's not it at all. It's that they have qualities that you desire, and it's just about finding out, you know, what they are. Another question, I just got out of a toxic 15-year relationship and a celebrity crush helps me to cope. Yeah, so similar to what we were saying before, right? If this is helping to get you through a dark time, like that's okay. You don't have to like pull out your support system. It's just when it gets to the point that you feel it's getting in the way of you finding love or building relationships in real life, that's when some changes might be needed. Someone has asked a question here as well, and it's similar, so I'm going to put this together. And the question is, well, it's really common, I'm not ready to give up my celebrity crush. So this was on the back of the Tom Hiddleston video, and I think, you know, in retrospect, what I would do differently is perhaps not mention someone specific, you know, because I can understand if you're in his tag on TikTok and you're one of his fans, that might be a little bit jarring to encounter that in your feed or in your FYP. But a lot of people were saying that in response to that video series is, I don't want to give up my crush on this person. And the truth is, you don't have to. I'm not trying to force anyone to do anything. This is just information for people who do feel ready to move on from that, and talking about the intricacies and like how complex it is psychologically and emotionally for us when we have a fantasy relationship. It's kind of similar when we have a fantasy relationship with someone we actually do know in our lives. You know, it's someone that you know through friends or from work or from the gym, and you imagine what it's like to be with them and you think about them, but there's not a real relationship in real life. Fantasy relationships are generally about getting a need met within us without any of the so-called risk or the perceived risk of getting close to a real person. If we're imagining it within our heads, we're in control, and that feels very safe for those of us that have been let down by people close to us. The work is always to find out where it comes from. If you know where it comes from, the work then is to release the feelings and beliefs, emotions attached to that experience, and then to reprogram your belief system. I put out a video series today called How to Believe You're Worthy of Love, and it goes through that process. Obviously, this is TikTok, and it was just for TikToks. It's a lot more complex than that, but it's the most I can give you through this beautiful app that we have access to. So yeah, if you're not ready to give up your celebrity crush, or you don't want to, like that's okay. You don't have to. It's just information for people that do want to. Somebody had a comment, there's no one as incredible as him. So this is going back to the celebrity crush thing, right? It's like when we put someone on a pedestal, we make them perfect, and no one's perfect. I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, they're not perfect. I'd be willing to bet that if you could spend a week with your celebrity crush, there might be something about them that really annoys you. You're like, God, they're annoying. God, they talk too much. God, they're always doing their hair. God, there would be something that annoys you, I'm sure. Like, no one's perfect. But again, what qualities do they have? Are they qualities you want in a person? And do you believe you can have someone like that? And if not, that's the work. That's the work. I haven't always myself necessarily believed this. And self-worth and confidence and worthiness has been like my biggest work because of my background and trauma history, etc. So we have to go through the process ourselves of believing that we're worthy, and we have to do it for ourselves, and you know, no one else is going to do it for us. And I know that's really hard, but we're worth it. We're worth the work. It's worth it. It does require effort, but it's worth it. So if you're saying there's nobody as incredible as him and you're putting him up on a pedestal, it kind of lets you off the hook from doing the work, because you're like, oh, well, there's no one as incredible as Harry Styles, Tom Hiddleston, Tom Holland, Chris Evans, Oscar Isaac, a lot of the Marvel men that were mentioned in the Celebrity Crush video. They're really amazing people. I don't know any of them personally, but they seem like they have some really beautiful qualities. So of course, you know, you're going to feel real emotions towards them, and it makes sense that you might put them up on a pedestal, but I'd invite you to take them down from that pedestal and just see them as a high value person, and then become a high value person yourself and be with someone who is like that. Because you can have that. Not that actual person, but you can have someone with their qualities. That's really the bottom line. That's the repeating pattern and message here. This is a similar question, so I think I'm just going to skirt past this one because I feel like I've answered it. I would love to have someone like my celebrity crush, but I don't believe they're within my reach. I don't believe I can have it. So similar thing, like we've got to do that work of believing we can have it. It starts with belief. I think it's fair to say everything in our life starts with belief. If we don't believe we can have it, or if we don't believe we can do something, if we don't believe it's possible, we're not going to do it. I'm being reminded of, for whatever reason, this might be a terrible analogy, but Elon Musk is trying to get to Mars. If he didn't think it was possible, if he didn't believe it was possible, he wouldn't be doing it. He believes it's possible, even though to everyone else it's like, can we really do this? If Elon Musk can try and get humans on Mars, we can believe we're worthy of love. Do you know what I mean? Like we can, I know that's a bit of a daft example, but if you can't believe it, can you say, I'm willing to believe it. I'm willing to believe Cheryl. She seems really sure about this. I'm willing to believe that I'm not different from other people. I'm willing to believe it's possible. I'm willing to believe I deserve it. I'm moving towards a life where I'm going to believe this. I don't believe it right now, but I hope that I'm going to believe it soon. Like, choose something that feels better. So right now, I don't believe I can have it. Over here is, I believe I can have it. What is one step closer to that? Even if you can't get all the way over here yet, what's one step closer? Right? And you can tap through it. So let's do that together. I might look like a crazy person on the internet, but let's do it. Even though right now, I don't believe I can have the relationship I want, and I feel like I'm not worthy, I'm willing to lean into a reality in a life where I believe that I'm worthy of love, and I'm willing to believe that now. You can tap through it, right? And then you get to the other side with a feeling of, yeah, I'm moving towards it. I'm moving in the right direction. So that can be really helpful. Last question. My celebrity crush is a man and I'm a lesbian. Probably one of the best comments I've got in a while, honestly. I don't actually know what to say about this other than to say, like, is it a romantic crush as in you just like their qualities, or are you like actually physically, and something I'm not allowed to say on the internet, sexually attracted to them? Like, do you want to be in bed with them? Is it like that kind of crush, like a real physical crush? Or is it just you like their qualities? I would look at that, and maybe if it's a real physical crush, like you want to physically be with this person, you're physically attracted to them, maybe, my love, come over to the bi side. It's real fun over here. You can have it. Okay, my lovers, I'm going to go through the questions and comments. And I sort of blacked out for a second there because I've got like ADHD, I have to be really focused when I'm on live. Otherwise, I'm all over the place. And yeah, I just have to be really focused. Crimson Lace, you beautiful, beautiful soul. My husband has been diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. My obsession with Tom Hiddleston keeps me sane and gives me comfort. Yeah. So I'd invite you to look at that. That doesn't actually sound like an obsession. It just sounds like they're a source of comfort for you, and that's okay. It's okay. Like, you're going through something really difficult, and that's something that provides you with comfort and meets a need, and that's okay, you know? And I hope, how can I say this? Because I know Alzheimer's isn't something that improves, right? So all I can do is send you and your husband love and comfort during that time. You know, my mother actually works she doesn't work in a nursing home, but she she goes there temporarily. She's a chiropodist, like a foot doctor, and she has a contract with a nursing home, and she often sees people that have got Alzheimer's and dementia, and so I have an understanding of what that looks like, and it's so heartbreaking to see, and I'm so sorry. I can't even begin to imagine what that's like for you, and if you need to, you know, have that experience of fandom with that man, and that brings you a feeling of comfort and joy, and like things are going to be okay, and it brings you a bit of sunshine, like that's okay. That's okay. And I'm just holding you and your husband in so much compassion, because I can't begin to imagine what that's like for you. It can help us get through a really dark time. It can provide us with comfort, and I think that's a beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful gift. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all for being here. This replay is going to exist on my YouTube channel, Love and Fandom, if you want to watch it there. This was real. This was emotional. Yeah, there's so many of us going through so many things at the moment. The world is not the easiest place to be, and whatever you need to do to get you through is okay. Whatever you need to do to get you through is okay. If the tools in Fangirl to Fiancé feel like they will really serve and support you, I would of course love to have you, as long as you feel like it's right for you and it's your next step. The details are in my bio if you want to just have a read about the program and see what is included. And Google me. You know, my name's Cheryl Muir. You can probably see from my TikTok handle, Cheryl Muir. Muir is M-U-I-R. Just have a Google of me and find the various places where I exist on the internet, and just like absorb some of my extra content, and just, yeah, scope me out on the internet and get a feel for me and see if I'm the right person to guide you through this process. If I am, it would be a real joy to help and support you. And if not, thank you for being here. I'm really grateful to be here, and grateful to be, you know, helping you all in some small way. I hope you have a beautiful day. Let me know what you want to see from me. I can't do this without you, and I love doing this with you. I love answering your questions and giving you support, so keep commenting, keep sharing. I try my best to read all the comments, even if I can't respond to all of them. And when I do read the comments, I get an idea, you know, of the themes and patterns and the things you're repeatedly asking about and wanting information on, and that really helps me to develop Q&As, and it helps me to develop more content that really speaks to the exact precise thing that you're going through, rather than me just guessing. So please keep commenting and letting me know what it is you want to see. And you can also DM me, you know, I think you can. Is that a feature on TikTok, or do you have to be following me back? I don't know how it works, but yeah, just comment on any of my content and just let me know what you want to see. Okay, that's all. I've been Cheryl Muir. This has been a beautiful live Q&A. You can find me here on the TikTok machine. You can also find me on Instagram and YouTube at Love and Fandom. My website is cherylmuir.com, and the details